So the second story arc within the amazing X-Wing Rogue Squadron series is titled The Phantom Affair. It consists of issues number 5, 6, 7, and 8. The story is by Michael Stackpole, and it takes place, which, let me backtrack a little bit. One thing that I love about this is that the transition is amazing. It takes place immediately after Rebel Opposition. So you read Rebel Opposition, the first story arc, which I covered, and it's an awesome transition. It takes place immediately afterwards. So we already know what's going on. We already know these new characters as well as the established characters and the characters from the movies, and they're given a bigger role. So they keep growing. There's a lot of character development. There's a lot more understanding of these characters' past, which I don't want to give too much away. I don't plan to. These discussions of this series is highlighting pretty much my love for the series and giving you kind of the gist. I don't want to give too much away because in particular the Phantom Affair, there is a lot of things that happen. There's a lot of things going on. It's pretty much like an adrenaline rush from beginning all the way to the end. And there are true gems. There are gems in this comic, particularly one. And before I discuss it further, one of the gems is looking into, by flashback, Wedge's past. And we see a part of him through comic format about what happened when he was younger, this incident that just changed his life. And it's discussed in the novels, but we get to see it. And it's a true gem, honestly, and within the entire expanded universe. We have many of them, but this is one. So I encourage you to read it and not sleep on these comics because they really have really important information about the expanded universe. So in Rebel Opposition at the end, Wes Jansen is still injured because of those events. So Tycho flies needs to fly an Imperial shuttle and has Wes with him. And Wedge pretty much tells Eskel, which is the resistance fighter we were introduced to in Rebel Opposition. She flies Tycho Celchu's ship. Plur joins them, the whole rogues, and they leave Silpaw, and then they head to Merlist. But before then, we have them encounter an amazing space battle. It is jaw-dropping. These panels in this comic, I'm telling you, they are amazing. The artwork is very different, noticeably different. In a good way, I'm saying. So that's one thing I love about this series. It doesn't stick completely to the same artwork, which would have been cool. But this is a plus. I like that they have different artists and it looks different, but the story flows well. So it all goes together very, very well. So they do some maneuvers and they destroy this dreadnought and they land on Merlist on this campus because there is something called a phantom ship. And apparently these administrators on this planet, Merlist, want to deal either with the Empire or with the New Republic. That's why Wedge is there. But in one of these meetings, there's one of his enemies from the past, shall we say. And this ties into the flashback. And this Imperial, his enemy, who wants this phantom ship really bad, obviously to do evil, Wedge just wants to keep it away from them. He's a maniac. He is insane. He is a maniac. Half of his face looks crazy. He has this creature like alien attached to his face. And in the flashback, we get to see how that happens. So that flashback is very, very important. Once again, it's a gem within the expanded universe. That part is just one of my favorites. It blew me away. Even though we know more or less what happened through the novels, but here we get to see it, and it has an impact. It does. There's a lot of character development, a lot of character growth within these comic books, in the Phantom Affair specifically. More the new characters are fleshed out, the old characters, which we know and love, still. So we get to spend more time with them. So in the movies, as we know, they're pretty much background characters, important. They do important things, but here we get to see them as people, you can say, so to speak. Really get to see their human side and or non-human side. and understand them. So there is a lot of growth, a lot of understanding of these characters through these comics. But a lot of things happen. I don't want to give much away. Another highlight is seeing Mirax, Tarek, shows up, and Booster does in the flashback. So we get to see the ties that Wedge has with Booster Tarek from when he was a young boy, and Mirax as well. So there's a strong bond, a strong tie there. So a lot of things happen. I love the characters. Grosnick, the Wookiee, Eskel, because she's one of my favorites from this series, and she's just part of the group. It's Plur, Wedge, Hobby, Tycho, Wes, and once again, as I mentioned before, the comedy is just spot on the right, or in the right moment, because there's some heartbreaking things that are revealed, but at the same time, when it's appropriate, it's funny also, and just the banter between the camaraderie, like I said before in the other video of the first story arc, is amazing, and it's so cool, and it's funny, and you laugh out loud type of thing. But yeah, there's also a ghost Jedi, and I say that in quotes, that appears, that he's a mystery as well. So everything dealing with the Phantom ship, that has to do with the twist that's revealed at the end, and also this ghost Jedi, that's what they call him. It's not really, but I don't want to give much away. But highly recommend it. Do not do what you want, but I highly recommend not jumping into just any story arc. Start from the beginning. You're going to get attached to these characters. They get fleshed out. The storyline just flows well with these transitions from one story arc to another. So Phantom Affair, awesome. Loved it. One of my favorites in the entire series.